all you tubers. Thanks for checking out my channel, Heavy Metal Barbecue. Today I'm going to be doing something that I've wanted to do for quite a long time now. I'll be doing a whole packer brisket in my Weber grill. I have a 13.5 whole packer USDA choice brisket. Not much fat on the back. I'm not even going to touch that. I got a little bit of hard fat here. I'll remove a little bit of that. Besides that, putting it on. For the rub, I'm going to be using some Traeger prime rib rub. Going to add a few extra black peppercorns and just a couple crushed red pepper flakes. I'm going to put them in the spice grinder. Now I'm using the Weber grill that I've modified, and what I'll be using is the Auber Instruments PID controller, setting the temp. I'll be setting it at 225, and I'll be using the stoker fan. To monitor the pit overnight, I'll be using the Maverick Ready Check. I've got the high set at 250 and the low set at 200, so if anything happens over the night, this will let me know. Okay, let me get this cleaned up and get it seasoned, and it's going into the fridge for about 4 or 5 hours. Okay, so I'm trimming it up and cleaning it, and here's that big hard piece of fat that I took out of there. I just want to point out, you get a brisket and it's got this funky kind of discolored meat right here. You want to trim that off because it just doesn't look good, and it doesn't cook well. So I'm going to trim this off right here. Trim this funky stuff off. Okay, I'd just like to take a minute to talk about the heavy metal kettle here. What it is a 22.5-inch Weber grill, and I bought the rotisserie attachment. This is the top rotisserie, but what I did is got aluminum furnace tape, tape that hole over that side. What I did for the top grate that's going to sit up here is I drilled some 1/4-inch holes right there, and I put a stainless steel bolt and nut on there. Stainless steel bolt and nut right there, and these already have the bolt and nut for the rotisserie attachment, so that's what I did to hold the grate. Down below I have just an aluminum turkey roasting pan that I flattened out just like that. And then we have the heavy metal charcoal basket. Check out my old video where I made this thing. All it is some expanded metal, a couple tack welds. That's the heavy metal charcoal basket, and this is the charcoal basket that Weber gives you. Let's get rid of that. Down here I disconnected this bracket for the lid holder. You can still put the lid in here, it'll still work, but I disconnected that. And of course you have that small hole, so I'll be sticking the fan for the stoker unit, and what I'll do is I'll put some aluminum furnace tape around it just to seal it off so it gets a nice connection there. And if you're saying that hole is too small, well, I thought that too, but I've done this before. Pork shoulder, lamb shoulder, And trust me, that hole is plenty big. I don't want to drill a bigger hole and have this thing start to rust, so trust me, that little hole is going to work. Got my roasting pan here. Stick my roasting pan in there. That'll catch the grease drippings there. I'll fill up the charcoal basket with Kingsford Original, and I'm going to be using a combination of mesquite and pecan wood. That's what we're going with. I'll probably be out here around 11 p.m. getting this on. I don't know if I'm going to even waste my time trying to get any video because it's going to be way too dark. So that's what we're going with. Okay, so last night at 11:15 I put this brisket on. It's now 7:45 in the morning. My ready check says 239 and the stoker is at 219. So I'm guessing somewhere in between. I'm around 225, 230. Had the vents cracked about a third of the way all night long. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Wow, look at that. It's looking pretty good. Look at all the charcoal. I still got a ton of charcoal here. I mean a ton. That is just amazing. Charcoal basket rocks. Alright, close it up. Let me get a temp probe in here and see where we're at. Just want to show you what I got going on. Awesome. Alright, I put a temp probe in here and see if we could see what the temp is. How about that? 154 internal. Okay, here we are at 12 hours and 15 minutes. Internal temp is 165. That's what it's looking like. Time for me to get this off, and we are going to wrap it. Okay, well, I've got to say the smell is amazing on this. Okay, so for wrapping it, I'm going to add a little bit of beef broth down in the bottom there. I'm going to wrap this up nice and tight, get it back on the pit. Okay, at 13.5 hours, I think I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more charcoal right to this side here, just to be on the safe side. We're at internal temp at 170, so that's what we're looking like. Okay, so at 15.5 hours, we're at 201. What we're going to do is we're going to shut down the stoker, close the lid, close the vents on the lid, and time to get it out. Okay, so after 15.5 hours, I got it off, got it wrapped in this heavy towel, and I'll be putting it in my oven. It's going to be off. I don't have a cooler, so that's what I'm going with. Alright, just wanted to show you the inside of the heavy metal kettle here after 15.5 hours on that brisket cook, and charcoal that's still left. I closed it up. It's been calming down for about an hour and a half here. Pretty happy with that. Next time, here's the pecan and here's the chunk of mesquite. I had them on top. Next time I think I'm going to layer them, get them down in between the layers of charcoal. But I'm pretty happy with that. Thing performed just as I expected. I'm pretty happy with that. That's the heavy metal kettle. Okay, so after resting in the oven, wrapped in this heavy towel for 3.5 hours, the temperature, it's lowered down to 165. Let's open it up and take a look here. Wow, it really has a good bark on it still after being wrapped. I can't wait to cut into this. Wow, let's look at this. Nice bark. I did fat side down. I just prefer it like that. Wow, look at that. See if I could separate this here. Separate the flat and the point. Let's slice the flat here. Wow, look at that. A little bit of a smoke ring. Nice pull test. Excellent flavor. Here you go, sweetie. Well, this is my first shot at wrapping. I took it up to 200 degrees. The point is a little overdone. The flat, pretty happy with that. But the main thing with this whole experiment was to see how the heavy metal kettle performed with that stoker unit set up in it. And I'm very happy with it. Well, if you stuck with me through this entire video, I've learned something. Very good. Now that's heavy metal.